Greetings, peace and blessings. Happy Saturday, everyone. It's about 4:50, and so I would imagine that on a summer day, everybody is out. I wanted to, hello to the hearts. I'm coming in today just to talk about some of the astrology and what might be influencing a lot of the behavior that we're seeing, that we're going to be seeing. I know I feel like for years I have been saying it's going to get really ugly. It's going to get really challenging. And we're in that season now. We've been in a drive towards that, but now we're there. And one of the things that's happening is because Pluto is retrograde, gone back into Capricorn, what's coming up is the debris that we have been carrying in our psyches, the shame, the jealousy, the doubts, the fears, the insecurities. Because Pluto went back into Capricorn, it's starting to unlevel the places where we really give our authority away. And because we have in this country and in this world have been in the age of Pisces, much of who we have been was based upon social contracts, social constructs that said, if you are a Christian, you shouldn't do this. If you're a woman, you shouldn't do this. If you're a man, you should behave this way. If you're a woman, you should be like, we've had a lot of ideas of what is appropriate and what is not appropriate projected onto us. And that stuff divides us against ourselves within, right? Because we're everything, but we are told that this is appropriate. So that means that this behavior over here has to be shunned and put away. And now all the things that when we shun aspects of ourselves and deny aspects of ourselves, they're still there. They're still there. And we all have it. We all have things inside of us that we might be ashamed of. We all have behaviors that we hold for privacy and that's not for public, or all of this sort of stuff that we feel like is less than appropriate. But the reality is that the human experience is not that way. The human experience is varied, and even though we live in this white supremacy capitalistic world that has set things up to say this behavior is better than this behavior because this is what is acceptable to the European mindset. That's all it is, right? So for instance, this conversation about the women twerking at Essence Festival, that's just something that's not culturally appropriate. If we were in Jamaica or the Caribbean or, a tribe in Africa, that would be completely appropriate. And because we have been conditioned and enculturated in systems and behaviors and beliefs that really go against our natural ways of being, as the feminine. And the thing that's important to know, you guys, is that the feminine at her core is wild. The feminine at her core is uncontrollable, which is why they've created, they don't tell you, but the reason they've created religions and government systems is to give men power over women. Right? So we have to understand what we've been enculturated into and how we are being, hi Ray, how we are being governed from external forces, how we are being controlled and told what is appropriate and what is not. All this shit is made up. Y'all need to understand that all of this stuff is made up, y'all. It's all made up. There really are no rules. There are social rules, like we all stop at a red light. We've all agreed to stop at red lights, right? You have to agree to pay your parking tickets. You have to agree to pay your taxes. You have to agree to, go to work on Monday. All those are agreements. None of that stuff is really real. None of that stuff has anything to do with who we really are. And what happens is our energies get trapped in these collective and social agreements that then keep us stuck in ways of being that are not truly natural to who we are. So that's one thing that's happening. And then, like I'm saying, the divine feminine is awakening back on the planet. And the divine feminine has been coming in for a while. But the first entry point is through women. And like I said, women in our natural state are wild. We have been tamed like house animals, like dogs that live in the house who don't shit on the floor and who don't do this. That's how women have been tamed, because in our natural state, we are sensual, sexual, free-spirited, but so many of us are cut off. We have literally been chopped off from our bodies, and we live in our heads, which is this conversation around women being masculine, because we are living in our heads. But here's the thing. When a woman is truly in her feminine, she is so wild that she will intimidate the average man, because a woman in her natural energy, in her natural sexual energy, in her natural creative energy, in her natural spiritual energy is uncontrollable. Cannot be controlled, cannot be bought, cannot be manipulated. So we're in a real complex experience right now, because the feminine has to come back online. And she's been so thwarted, she's been so caged, that the natural propensity is just to break out, right? To just, I gotta get out of here. So that's going to happen. And the work really is for each of us to decide within ourselves, how can we move ourselves into our own feminine energy in ways that works, in ways that serves ourselves, our families, our communities, because the feminine must come back on board. She cannot continue to be suppressed by anyone, not even herself. So we're watching, we're watching people's natural internal expression start to come to light. And the work for me is really not to judge it, like literally to know that this is a natural progression in the evolutionary process of human beings right now. We are going through something, y'all. We are going through something. And so my work is to really hold a space of compassion and to create tools and resources that help people learn how to own their own energy. It's literally, I thought for a really long time, I used to feel like, if I just had more money, I would feel better, right? If I would just have more money, I would feel better. But here's the thing that I'm realizing. When we have more of something, you have to have the strength, the wherewithal, the wisdom to be able to manage it, to carry it. You have to be able to carry these energies. And most women have been in their masculine. So as the feminine energy gets stronger in their systems and bodies, there is a reaction that takes place. So your sexuality will go crazy. Your desire to eat, all of your sensual nature will become really, really hot. Really like, your sensual nature will catch on fire. And many of us, because we've not been doing the work, can't contain it. Don't really know how to manage it. So it will show up in this externally acting out, because you don't really know how to hold the energy in you. It's like they say, when people win the lottery, most people spend all their money because they don't know how to really manage all that energy. And that's exactly what's going on now. So the other thing is people's subconscious, because Saturn is in Pisces, people's subconscious is coming into the 3D realm. So what's really going on inside of you is going to become your external experience. And so it's really important that we do the work inside of you to take responsibility for what you're feeling, how your life is. You've got to, and the best thing is to not have any opinions about it, you all. Like, to really just love and know that we're all going through something, and to do your best to support yourself and other people to the best of your ability. That's really it. Pray for yourself, pray for others. You know, for me, I'm literally just praying to trust the process, to know that I'm going to have what I need when I need it, to know that I'm here for a reason. I have a purpose right now. I'm not here just because, you know, I'm on the earth realm for a reason right now. And the earth is healing, and the solar system is shifting, and humanity is being called to another higher way of being, and it is going to be messy. It is going to be very, very, very challenging and difficult. And the best thing we can do is love ourselves right now. That is the best thing we can do. So I just wanted to come in and say that there's a lot of information going on, you know, a lot of stuff, a lot of celebrity stuff. The other thing I want to say about the celebrity stuff, you all, is that the celebrity stuff is always planned. They're all actors, y'all. Just so, like, I live in Los Angeles. I'm so happy that I know that. It's all a distraction to get you focused on something else. Like, one of the things that I noticed, we had the 777 portal yesterday, and all I saw everybody talking about was somebody else. And the work is, when we're going through these astrological energies, is to be doing the rituals to harness that power for yourself. You have to, and so if you're overly talking about everybody else and, you know, thinking about that energy, it's literally like you're giving them your life force. So I encourage you to come home to yourself, because the world is really changing, and all the energy that we're using to worry and fight and compete and blame is energy that could be used to heal, to transmute, to see yourself, to love yourself, to protect yourself, to create yourself. And as we get further along, you won't have an opportunity to do this shit again. I want you to know. So you will end up being a slave to somebody else if you're not doing the work to stand on your own 2 feet. You will end up being in somebody else's reality. Just like we're in this American reality, which is a white man's brain, a white man's dream. This dream is ending. This dream is becoming a nightmare. But if you're not cultivating your own power, you're going to end up in somebody else's reality. So I just encourage y'all to take care of yourselves. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. I love you very much. Bye-bye.